have two options there. So they'll have a sustainable option, and they'll have the not so sustainable option. And for me, that's really important because that's all throughout the store, and you can actually see the more sustainable choices that you can actually make within the store.
Hello, everybody. Here we are back again for the Sustainability Sessions by Linnworks. My name is Georgia Laybourne. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at Linnworks. And I am delighted today to be joined by Patrick Mellors, who's the Manager of Partnerships at Lightspeed, one of our very, very important partners within our ecosystem. Welcome to the party, Paddy.
Thanks, Georgia, and really happy to be here as well today.
So to kick us off today, I'd really love it if you could just introduce yourself and Lightspeed, just to give the audience a little bit of a flavour for who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. So, yeah, as you said, I'm Patrick Mellors. I've been at Lightspeed now for 9 years. Prior to that, I was a partner of Lightspeed. Lightspeed is a company where we provide point of sale or ecommerce omnichannel solution that gives great tools to retailers to help them grow and build their businesses.
Fantastic. And one of the reasons why Lightspeed is such an important partner for Linnworks is because they're bringing bricks and mortar into the vast marketplace connectivity that we're offering as a commerce operations provider. So the two solutions are really, really complementary. Today's session is all about the pressure that retailers have balancing cost and customer service and also the environment. And what I really wanted to do today is to focus on the role of the store, because you guys are a point of sale application. I wanted to talk about the role of the store within commerce operations overall and how its proximity to the customer can actually give us the best of those three elements: keep the costs of fulfillment down, keep the cost on the environment down by providing that local to the customer pickup and collection, and also by providing great service. So I'm going to kick off with a question. I love asking questions because I'm always trying to, get a bit of a giggle out of people. So as we all know, we live in the omnichannel era where consumers shop across channels and expect this seamless connectivity between browsing online, visiting the store, and fundamentally getting hold of their stuff. So what do you bring to the party at Lightspeed in terms of finessing that customer journey on the store side of things?
Great question. So I think essentially, as I mentioned, so Lightspeed, we provide point of sale and omni-channel solution, but I guess why we're here today is that we also have a partner ecosystem, which is to help. We have integrations with the likes of yourself, like Linnworks, which actually helps the stores that we work with to actually manage their inventory. So a prime example of that is, they might have multiple stores, they might sell in multiple platforms, they might be able to sell on the likes of Amazon, eBay, wherever that might be. And with that ecosystem, that allows that to all come together and for a store to be able to manage that inventory as simple as possible. That solution also being able to have stock in many different places. It might be warehouse, it might be across multiple stores. They might be fulfilling that for ecom, for Amazon, for eBay. And actually that's what our system allows those retailers to do.
So this, for me, is manna from heaven, because what you're telling me is that if I go into a store who has Lightspeed technology and I've been shopping around the store and I can't find my size in that little black dress that I just really want to buy, when I go up to the retailer and I say, hey, do you have this online? Rather than them saying to me, oh, that's another part of the business and I wouldn't have a clue, they will be able to look on the Lightspeed technology to search all of the channels.
Exactly that. And it might be in the store that's just in the city down the road or whatever it might be, where you can go, actually, it's not here right now, but if you need it today, hey, I can actually reserve that in the other store for you and you can go and collect that right now.
But that's like the rock-on experience, because 5 years ago, that wasn't happening. It was like the store and the rest of the shopping network for that particular retailer were completely disconnected. Never the twain should meet. So the fact that you guys are connecting the dots on that's from a customer experience perspective, tick the box. Great.
Excellent.
So now let's turn a little bit towards sustainability. So how can the store, and specifically your technology in the store, help consumers and retailers adopt a little bit more green in their quest for immediacy and efficiency?
Another great question. And I think, look, with the tools that we have that are built into Lightspeed, so we have reporting and analytics within the software where retailers can make educated decisions on how much stock should they be ordering, how much should they have in at a certain time. Maybe they want to report back on seasonality. So actually, during a Christmas period, we're going to sell more of these, or during this period, we sell more of this. Or we don't sell much of this in this store, but we sell more of that in this store. So that allows the retailer to make those educated decisions on, okay, how much do I order? Let's not over order, let's not under order, to make sure that they have the stock there at the right times. And I think, look, that's huge. That for one makes them a lot greener. You're not over ordering where 2 months later you need to send a lot of stock back to suppliers, where you've essentially been losing money. But at the same time, you're not going to lose business in making sure that you've got that stock in at the right time. So yes, it allows them to be greener. But at the same time, it also allows them to be more profitable as well. And I think that's just one thing. I think there's also, time management things as well there. So actually allowing them to be greener is making it easier for the retailer to have those decisions by having that tools there. They're not going to have to overstaff to do all those manual little things. My time in retail, I remember, doing things like stock takes on a pad and paper. We have things. We've got an app now where you can just go around and scan all of the items, and it instantly uploads and says how much stock you've got there. I remember being in retail stores till 12 o'clock at night counting all that stock, and horrible times, but things that had to happen then. We make that super simple and super easy now for those retailers.
And one of the things that I always like to see is, especially when you think about the connection between Lightspeed and Linnworks, is the fact that now when a retailer is looking at fulfillment across its entire real estate, they can use the store as part of that fulfillment solution. And that proximity itself can obviously reduce shipping, reduce, travel for the consumer, all that kind of thing. Hopefully we're taking out at least one, if not two, of those journeys for the stock to actually get to the customer, which must tick a green box somewhere. Any other aspects of the offering that you think lends itself to a more sustainable shopping experience? That's kind of what I wanted to get to the center of in my chat with you today.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, you can even go to the simple things like emailing receipts. So you're not having to kind of print off all those receipts, and you can email the receipts within the software, and just allows you to be that little bit greener that way as well. And delivery options, as you mentioned, they're the key things of, okay, I can actually give the consumer the choice of, look, I can deliver that to you because it's not here today, or you can actually just nip down the road where we have it here in that store. So there's a lot of those options that are all built within the system. But we're also we're bringing out more and more reporting that's going to allow them to forecast. So you can actually look well ahead in advance, and you can actually go, okay, these times are really busy. Make sure I've got more staff in at these times or these times, and then you're not going to be overstaffing at certain times. All of those analytics and all those reports that you can pull, they just literally make these retailers so much more greener.
But it really is that convergence of technology, people, and process, isn't it, that we're facilitating for the retailers to really give them a chance at that efficiency and also that green footprint. So really, really great to hear some of these initiatives. So I wanted to spin this round a little bit, because one of the things I think we forget in the B2B world is that actually as individuals, we're all consumers, you, me, and everybody. So if you think about your own personal preferences and your own shopping habits, have you developed any sort of must-haves when you embark on a new purchase? And are there any specific things that you would look out for from the retailer that you choose?
I think for me, when I'm visiting a retail store, it's all about experience. I'm one of these guys that goes and does a hell of a lot of research before I actually make a purchase. So I'll actually go, okay, when I go into a store, I know what I want, and I know essentially what it is that it's going to be, or I think I know what I want. Sometimes that's dangerous, right? I think you think you know what you want because you've done your research. And for me, that experience to go into a retail store, to actually have somebody who really knows their stuff and can actually probably knows I come in as an educated what I think is an educated person to actually buy something, and they can actually either correct me or go, actually, yeah, you're right. Your research is really good. This is the right product for you, and you know what it is that you're buying. And I always think that, if you go into a store where somebody who really doesn't know what they're selling or what it is that they're providing, that's not a great experience. But experience is key for me. I'm also a techno geek. I love technology. I don't actually carry a wallet around anymore. I don't carry cash. I don't carry cards. So for me, is that I want to be able to pay on my phone. I want to be able to pay on my watch, and that they're the tiny little things. If I go into a store and it's like, hey, you don't have the technology to allow you to do that, it's always a little bit of an off for me. In fact, I can't buy it because I don't have a wallet and I don't have cash with me. So
I'm exactly the same. I mean, and I had an experience recently at Sainsbury's where something had gone down and they couldn't take my payments. I literally had to leave a shopping trolley full of shopping and go home and get my credit card. It was crazy. I mean, do you have, in the Lightspeed technology, do you have any failover that facilitates that if the old Wi-Fi goes down whilst someone's in the midst of shopping?
Yeah, so we have payments, so we have integrated payments that's there, and essentially, yes, if the Wi-Fi is down, people can still transact and still take payments. So yeah, that's not going to stop. You can still carry on working as a business if that actually happens.
I think that is really important, because I think the last time I saw one of those, do you remember those like block machines where you went with the carbon over your credit card?
Yeah.
I haven't seen one of those in a few years. I'm not sure if they've, been confined to the history bit.
Okay, probably showing my age a little bit here, but I used to use them when I worked in retail stores, and I remember, the PDQ had gone down, and you literally get the machine out and swipe over. Yeah, it's I've not seen them for a long time, which is great.
What makes me laugh is we get such a kick out of putting them up on a social media site somewhere and trying to get Gen Z to guess what they are. It's like the and the cassette tape. Do you know how these two go together and why?
Yeah.
Okay, so continuing with the theme as you as the consumer, I wanted to talk a little bit about positive and negative experiences. Now, I'm happy for you to mention the retailer's name if it's positive, but if it's negative, don't mention the retailer, because I don't want to disrespect anyone. But can you share with us any super great shopping experiences you've had that have really wowed you, and any that have just left you cold?
So I'm going to start with the negative and end on the positive. And so we'll start with the negative. And actually, this happened last week. So I was looking for some new lights for the living room, some wall lights, and so essentially we needed 2 wall lights. So I went to a retailer, didn't have them in stock, but they were able to look up and go, actually, we can get them, and we can get them delivered to you for tomorrow. So the next day, there was first delivery, and this light came in boxes upon boxes and paper. And I opened this up thinking, obviously, both wall lights are in there. There was one in there. An hour later, another delivery comes, and the actual light has come from another warehouse. And this has just come in. Literally, it was the light box with the delivery note stuck onto it, and then that's come through. So actually, and it was fine. The light was fine, but you can see there's two totally, for me, this was the least green experience that I could have ever gone through. One, I've gone to the store. I would have actually happily waited a day, picked up from the store. But actually, it did leave me cold knowing that 2 deliveries from 2 totally separate places, and one of them was just cardboard and box upon box and paper. I do try to be sustainable as possible, and I guess that literally was, wow, this is the least sustainable purchase I've ever made. Which moves me on to the sustainable, and I guess it's something that I do every day, or not every day, frequently, once a month, is our local pet store. So I'll go to our local pet store and buy dog poo bags. Never thought I was going to be talking about that on here, but what's amazing there is they actually have listed, and they have 2 options there. So they'll have a sustainable option, and they'll have the not so sustainable option. And for me, that's really important, because that's all throughout the store, and you can actually see the more sustainable choices that you can actually make within the store. And they have just little stickers on there saying, hey, this is the most sustainable option. Sometimes the item's more expensive, sometimes it's more cheaper, but I really like to see that. I really like to be able to go in there and go, hey, I've got a choice here. And me as a consumer, I can make that choice of, hey, today, do I want to be more sustainable? That's something that I really like to see, and it means that the retailer is very thoughtful.
Still get quite frustrated with the with a couple of the large marketplaces, actually, who I just don't think do enough to concatenate the delivery experience. So you kind of end up with multiple deliveries when you would have been quite happy with one. So I know that, consumers are like all about, I need it now. But actually, it's very rare that you need something right now. You can normally wait a day or two.
Absolutely, and honestly, that's how I would see this. I would wait rather than actually have that experience of the two boxes at two different times coming through. I would have waited a day. I would have waited a couple of days actually, rather than actually have had that experience.
That actually brings me to my last question, which I'm asking all of my victims, Paddy.
Victims.
My victims, because this is an impossible question to answer. From your perspective, what's the right balance between customer service, cost control, and the environment? From a retailer perspective, what should they care most about?
I don't think to actually be profitable or to be more profitable, you have to be less sustainable. I don't think that's the case. I think retailers just need to be that more educated. So actually do their research on where they're buying from. Like, where are they sourcing that product from? How is that product manufactured? And I think actually if you start to make those decisions and make those choices as a retailer where you're again educated, investigating those kind of things, it doesn't mean that you're going to be less profitable. It just means that actually you probably buy more sustainable products and getting them delivered at the right time, making those educated decisions on when you buy, what and how much you buy, and using tools like Lightspeed to be able to make those choices. So I don't actually believe that you have to make those decisions. I don't think you have to go, hey, I'm going to choose profitability over sustainability. I don't think that's the case. I think you just need to be educated to actually to buy the right things at the right time from the right place. And I think if you're doing that, you naturally are going to be.
It's a great answer. It's a great answer. I don't know if you've seen this. I can't remember where I saw it, but there was a one of those little soundbite videos on TikTok or Instagram or something about a girl who gets back from her driving test and the instructor says, "I'm really sorry, but you failed."
Yeah.
And she says, "Oh, please, Mr. Instructor, just please, is there anything I can do?" And he says, "Well, I'll tell you what, if you answer the following question correctly, I'll pass you." And he says, "You're coming up to a crossing and there's an old person and a young boy. Who do you hit? What do you hit?" And she goes, "Probably the old person because they have less time to live." The brake. And so you've kind of answered that question in exactly the same way, because you're right, you don't have to make a choice. It's about balancing the criteria between those three, because all three of them are incredibly important in the current age.
Absolutely.
Okay. Any final remarks from Paddy or from Lightspeed about sustainability, shopping in store, payment systems, anything that you'd like to conclude with?
I guess to add to this and maybe features functionality of what we include, I'm just going to go back to my experience when I was working in retail. So we have integrated payments as well. So it's a solution. So essentially, I remember it being Saturday nights and wanting to go out with my mates or whatever, and I'm stuck in a retail store actually having to do Z reports and get all these reports from, because we didn't have integrated payments. And I'm sat there going through transaction by transaction, bearing in mind we used to do hundreds and hundreds on a Saturday. And it's, this thing isn't actually adding up and it's not correct. I'll never forget sat there just having to go through line by line by line by line to work out. And obviously my mates are out there having a great time. I'm stuck in a retail store trying to work out why these things don't add up. So I think, look, Lightspeed can add, and having that integrated payments into your point of sale certainly helps. So I think you've got some key features that are there and available. Another thing is that I think Lightspeed we do look at sustainability. It's a huge thing, and we want to be able to give our customers the tools to make their customers be sustainable. So we've actually planted through Lightspeed software over 1.6 million trees, which is quite a big thing in terms of just allowing their customers to be able to plant a tree at the time of actually paying the bill. So that's actually within our hospitality and with our e-com software, where we partner again with tree planting partners that allow us to do that. So again, sustainability is obviously we want to give the right technology to our customers, but sustainability is a key part of that as well. We're always thinking about that.
Well, I think you guys have hit the nail on the head, because not only are you making the operational adjustments needed to really significantly decrease your own carbon footprint, but also those of your customers, and you're doing some offsetting. So hats off to Lightspeed, clearly taking it all in the right direction. Paddy, thank you so much for your time today. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Georgia.
And thank you to our audience for listening.